Hey everyone, so this was pretty epic. So to get to Sajama on your own, if you are in Bolivia, it's very easy. If you just Google it, basically the AI or every guide will tell you to take a bus from Patacamaya, heading to Arica, Chile, and just ask to be dropped off at the Sajama Junction, which is here. And then from there you can either walk or there might be a taxi. But actually for me it was a bit more difficult because at the time I was trying to get there, basically every road in Bolivia, at least the highways were blocked because of protests. So I actually found out another way how to get there. You can actually take a van, basically, or a minibus from Oruro. It leaves from this roundabout. Yeah, there it is. Parada a Tambo, which is a small town at the border with Chile. There is a company there that operates the minibuses, and they go every day, every 4 hours, starting at 6. But to be safe, you should probably reserve a spot in the van, which I did, which I don't think was ultimately necessary because it wasn't full, but probably usually there would be more people. Just with the blockades, I guess there wasn't many people traveling. Yeah, but anyway, so with the van, we actually didn't go through the junction because this road was blocked as well. So the van took this dirt road to Tambo, and from there I took a taxi to Lagunas, and from there I walked. When I was returning, the blockades were gone already, and the van went on the asphalt road. So I think if you take the van from Oruro, you can also just ask to be dropped off at the junction. So I'm at Lagunas. It's I think about 3 p.m. and I just start walking. It's about 14 kilometers to Sajama on a dirt road. Shortly before 6 I was at Sajama. Yeah, by the way, there is a ticket station, here, Entrada. There was no one there, but I guess without the blockades there would be someone there. And it's 30 Bolivianos for locals and 100 for tourists, for foreigners. But it doesn't matter if there is no one there, because you buy the ticket straight at Sajama village, here at the park ranger's office. So I bought a ticket there, had a small chat, friendly guy, no issue whatsoever. He told me that I can camp anywhere, so I did. He did ask if I was going climbing, which I said no, I'm not going to Nevados, which I misled him a bit, I think. But you know, what's a Nevado? For me it's a glacier. And the only glaciated mountain there is Sajama itself. It's not that difficult, but it's a 60-degree slope with glacier, seracs and all. So obviously I would need proper mountaineering equipment, and I wouldn't go alone. But I'd never planned to going there, so whatever. But I did go to Parinacota. So you should normally be able to book a guided hike to Parinacota and a climb to Sajama, perhaps even Pomerape, which is also more difficult, more technical, unlike Parinacota. Just straight into Sajama village. But because of the blockades, there's no tourists, so it was absolute ghost town. And I wasn't going to book a guided hike anyway, because I just like to walk. The guided hikes aren't really attractive to me, just to drive you all the way to the base camp, maybe sleep one night there, just walk up, walk down, drive you back, give you food and all. There's just no fun in that. Yeah, so like 6:30 I made the tent at dusk, and the next day I just started walking to the base camp. And I thought it was gonna be pretty easy day because it was I think 18 kilometers and like 1200 meters of elevation gain on very mild slopes. Yeah, actually, this was way tougher than the climb to Parinacota itself because I had a 20 kilo pack. It was 20 kilos because I carried 7 liters of water from Sajama because I needed water for 2 days. And also I had food for a week because I planned some more hiking and I didn't plan on any resupplies or anything. So yeah, that's why I had 20 kilo pack, which actually still I thought like should be fine. But the thing is that the surface, especially when it starts climbing more, is kind of a sandy ash. It's kind of like walking on a beach, except it's uphill, we have a pack, so yeah, actually, it was pretty demanding today. I also had a mild cold, which I still have, but I didn't feel like sick. I ate normally, I didn't have fever, I just, my throat was not great ever since I left Oruro. Yeah, but anyway, so I walked to the base camp. It was maybe 7 hours, and then then there is a building actually, a refugio, which was closed. I just camped next to it. Okay, so then the climb, or I guess hike itself. So I started before dawn, like 5:40 I think, and just went up. There was actually a bit of a trail up here, but I missed it in the dark because it was just very small trail on the scree. But when the sun came up, I found it again. Like the little trail would have helped a bit, but not too much. It's very small, just trail in the scree. So yeah, I just kind of went the direction. Didn't really matter. And then from like 5,700 meters, I was there late June, so kind of early in the dry season. So from about 5,700 meters, it was snow and ice slope, so which was actually preferable to the scree. It's a 40-degree slope. You don't need any mountaineering equipment. I mean like proper mountaineering equipment. You don't need an ice axe. You don't need proper hard shell boots with proper mountaineering crampons. You just need some nice warm boots and some tourist crampons, like micro spikes. Like I have the 12 millimeter spikes you can put on any boots. So you definitely need that, but as I said, no like proper mountaineering equipment. Just hiking poles and some tourist crampons. Supposedly late in the dry season, the snow might even almost completely melt, or I guess evaporate is a better term because it doesn't get above freezing in there. But I don't know, it was a lot of snow. So I think at every time of the year you should expect some snow at least. Yeah, so I went up and the weather forecast wasn't great because western winds were supposed to pick up, which they did. The map actually doesn't represent it properly. There is a bit of a ridge here, so even if I went on this standard route from the northeast, I was kind of covered from the western wind. It was still unpleasant, but it wasn't dangerous. But once I got to the summit ridge, actually the wind was so bad that it was pretty hard to keep balance. So I ditched my plan to go around the crater So I probably didn't reach the highest peak. I mean, if I looked around the crater, the peaks seem pretty similar, give or take a few meters, maybe like up to 30 meters, not more. And by the way, my GPS recorded 6,367 meters in here, which it can be wrong, but usually it's not wrong by more than like 20 meters. So yeah, unfortunately, even though I had good time, it took me a bit over 5 hours from the base camp. So before 11 I was at the summit. So I had time to go around the crater, but yeah, as soon as I stepped on the ridge and felt the wind, I was like, there's no chance I'm not going on the west side. So I just went back. Yeah, there's the descent route on the map. I was never going to go there because I think this is only when the snow is almost gone. I think this is gonna be a ski slope you can ride down, but here it was, as I said, from like 5,700 meters. So I would just go down on a steeper snow slope, which why would I do that? It would be just worse. Yeah, so I just went down, and I didn't want to take the exact same route, so I kind of went to the ridge to look at the Chilean side, which I wasn't able to from the summit, because it was covered by the peaks around the crater. And yeah, had a look, felt the western wind again. I think the forecast had it at 50 kilometers an hour, but the next day it was almost 100. It was supposed to pick up. So I checked this pass. It's very cool. Actually, very nice views from here, because I guess at around here from the ridge, you could see the whole volcano, and the slopes of Parinacota starting, and right in the middle there was Sajama. So it was actually a really nice view from here. Yeah, so went back, had something to eat. I packed my camp in the morning before I left, and I just picked up my bag and went down, because there is no water here. I guess there were some snow leftovers under rocks and such, but just mixed with ash, and it's not great for melting. So yeah, I wanted to move the camp to the closest stream, which was here. So actually the same day I started walking down to the first active stream, which I knew this one had water because I crossed it on the way there. And I was just following the tracks of the 4x4s. So I actually made a mistake there. I wanted to walk straight here, but I continued, because this was actually a bigger road. Yeah, so that was Parinacota. Pretty amazing. Okay, so next day I wanted an easy day, because I had the cold, and also the previous day was pretty demanding. So I just went here around these thermal springs. Yeah, it says it's a geyser here, but it squirts maybe half a meter into the air, so I guess you can call it a geyser. But anyway, very nice hot springs. Absolutely no infrastructure there, so you can check whatever you want. And then went up and camped somewhere around here. Yeah, there's actually a camp spot even on the map. Nice camp spot. I think it was like maybe 8 kilometers. And the next day was also easy. This is actually the Lagunas Alturas track, this little circuit. and it's absolutely amazing. I mean, this is one of the best treks I went on ever. It's absolutely epic, especially around here, around the Laguna Sorapata. There was a bunch of wild horses. There was vicuñas, and with the half-frozen lake, it's just so picturesque. And also the peaks around the ridges have snow. I guess they had snow when I was there. I think June was the perfect time. It's really cold. It's around 5,000 meters. Yeah, this lake, the highest one, is I think exactly 5,000. But yeah, it was absolutely epic, all just for me. Also, of course, viscachas running everywhere. So that was another short day because I planned to send another peak, which was this one, Kunturiri. And I kinda scouted it from down here when I made camp. Now the map has the route here. I actually think my route was better. There was a snowfield on a fairly mild slope, maybe like 35 degrees. So it was great for me, much better than ski. Oh, I guess maybe that's why the route is here, because on this side of the ridge it was already snow free. Yeah, on the southern side there's gonna be snow for much longer. But as I said, it's better than ski, so yeah, I just put on my tourist crampons and went. And then first I went to this peak to see the site, and then just to the main peak. And then from here I looked at the way down. I actually planned to go on the like normal route, this route down on this ridge. But honestly, I think it was the ridge was steeper and more jagged than the way up. And I just looked around, and I saw a nice ski field here. So I rode this ski field down and then just traversed. I think it was much better option. Then I just went the straightest route back to the camp. So this little circuit took me 4.5 hours, and it was really nice actually. Definitely recommend Kunturiri. It was like 1 p.m. when I arrived back to my tent. So I had some food packed up and went down through the valley. I guess on the rest of the Lagunas Alturas trek. And I slept here close to the thermal baths. I actually didn't take the bath because it was again like 6 p.m. It was getting dark, so I just made tent and cooked something and went to sleep. And I was thinking maybe I go there in the morning, but in the morning there was nobody there. And you are supposed to pay 30 bolivianos here. I didn't take a bath. I was just thinking I could get to Oruro the same day, which I did. And I just had a nice shower in a hotel, so yeah, why bother with the springs? Yeah, so I walked to Sajama, hoping to find some transport from there because I didn't feel like walking all the way to Tambo, because yeah, it's no fun just on the dirt roads. Right, so from the hot springs to Sajama, it's like 6 kilometers, so very short walk. And again, absolute ghost town, no tourists. But I actually met some people here, and I arranged transport with the guy there who had a car. He was also a guide. And by the way, he really wasn't angry about me going to Parinacota alone. Yeah, I'm not sure how strict the rules are there, or if there are even rules. I didn't want to ask too much before I went, because yeah, usually you will just hear no. So, and also there was no one there, so whatever. But as I said, the guy was a guide, and when we were talking, and I explained to him that my experience, and I just went to Parinacota. He was fine with it. Took a taxi basically with the guy to the Tambo Commando, and from there at 2 p.m. I took the van back to Oruro, but this time without the blockade, so the whole way on the asphalt road. So it was only 3 hours to Oruro. So at 4 p.m. I'm at Oruro. At 5 I check into the hotel. Honestly, I think it's a pretty convenient way to get to Sajama from Oruro. It might honestly be better than from Patacamaya, because you can leave your stuff at Oruro and it's closer. You can leave like your suitcase in the bus station at Oruro, and there are hotels. It's a much bigger city. Yeah, so it was Sajama. Absolutely awesome. Highly recommend it. You can camp there, nobody bothers you. Just pay 100 Bolivianos and enjoy.